Hi, this is Tim Santoni and welcome to Santoni Spotlight. Today we have the pleasure of being joined by Cindy Goss with Propel Business Solutions. Tell us a little bit about Propel Business Solutions before we get started and give the viewers a sense of what you guys do.
Sure. Thank you very much, Tim, for having me today. Propel Business Solutions is a full-service branding and marketing firm, and we focus on strategic messaging for our clients to clearly help them separate themselves from their competition. We're all about integration and some of the trending things that are happening today in the marketplace to help companies build strong marketing campaigns that are measurable and truly create results.
Awesome. So, I guess digital marketing, branding, I think that all blends together. Give me the viewers a sense of kind of the three things that are kind of changing in the marketplace that you're seeing that are impacting people's efforts to get the attention of their ideal client, whether that's a business owner, if it's a product company. What are the challenges? What's going on in the space that are impacting what you guys do and what your clients are faced with?
That's a great question. We deal with, on a regular basis, clients who are at different levels of entering the digital space. So whether they're first time starting to create their digital footprint or whether it's they're advanced, there's this understanding that has to happen of how the various tools can impact that whole scenario for the best results. So a lack of knowledge about all of this technology that's coming together and integrating together is probably one of the scariest things for companies who are very serious about creating their footprint in digital marketing.
And when you say the technologies, are you referring to the fact that people say, oh, you should be on Facebook, or you should be on LinkedIn, or you should be there, in terms of like putting that all together into kind of an integrated solution, if you will?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Data is driving everything. Data is everything. And building a back end with rich data and a system and a CRM, a customer relations management system that's actually going to propel all of these other tools. And so we work with our clients to really understand what their blocks are in just doing social media alone, or just doing video alone, or just doing whatever it is, drip campaigns alone. So the future of all of this is marketing automation or behavioral. It's behavioral-based marketing. If a client does X, then they're likely to do Y, and I need to do another step to get them to bring to the Z, which is where I want them to be in terms of selling their products or services.
So for them to kind of walk through that process, which is obviously a bit of education, a little bit of breaking through the fear of the unknown, what are some things you found that work when you're talking to clients, prospective clients, or as you work with clients, as you guide them through that process?
So some of the ways that we work with our clients to overcome barriers to entry into the digital space is to take it slowly. There are clients that we need to do the basic rebranding. Their website isn't telling the story correctly or in a powerful, compelling way. There's no video, for instance, like we're doing today, which is so powerful, and the stats are amazingly high about how CEOs and the C-suite executives make decisions now, not just on consumer products, but through video also make an incredible impact in their business. So we kind of help them, guide them through this process wherever they are in the process.
Gotcha. So kind of slow and steady and kind of not overload them with too much too fast, kind of based on where they've been and where they're going. It's a great point. There's so many different things they can kind of be overwhelmed with. So you mentioned about creating something that's measurable, but what are some mistakes that you see when you get involved, whether you're starting someone from scratch or you're getting involved with a client who is maybe migrating from another digital strategic branding agency? What are some typical mistakes that you see right off the bat that you're like, okay, we got to fix that right away in the first 30 days?
Let me use a real life example for this. We recently took on a very large law firm here in Irvine, and they have a great reputation, and they had hired another social media / digital marketing firm to help them. But one of the things that was very lacking was that they were pushing out content that was very educational in the legal space, but in fact there was no personality and no cultural component to who they were as a firm. So when they hired Propel, what we did immediately was come up with a strategy and a plan to not just show them as the leader in certain legal practice areas that were really outstanding that they do with the work in. Also, we actually then brought them into the cultural side of things, and we use video. We've been using lots of video to do that. So that's an example, and we've taken this now to the point of they're getting regular calls and regular inquiries through LinkedIn, through Facebook Business, through Instagram, platforms and social platforms they never would have thought that they could have seen any results from.
Right. And I think that's a good point, is that, right, people buy from other people. When you say CEOs and the C-suite and attorneys, about having video on those people, right? But if the reach is whether you're in person or you're in video, you're still buying from another person. The only way to know that person is to know what they're about beyond just what they do, right? Because what's the context? Like, oh, I wrote this really good article or this research paper on employment law or IP law or M&A. Great, awesome, we have good results. However, I still have to deal with that person over and over and over again. So how do you convince people like that, lawyers who are very into the educational, ethical, like, hey, this is my work product, and they pride themselves on what's between their ears and what they write and all that stuff, to be like, okay, you need to be writing something that's personal, you need to do a video, you got to open up. Like, what's the secret? Or is there a secret?
Is there a secret? I think a lot of that speaks to trust. And I think a lot of that speaks to the previous relationships they've had with other firms and doing well for them or not. There's an element of demonstrating to them and showing them successful campaigns that have been in their space before.
Sure.
So we rely on a lot of successes that we and other people have done to demonstrate this is what it looks like. And then slowly we get them to become believers in the process.
So you kind of turn the tables on them. You're saying, I'll show you the stats that work for us the same way you would use in your practice, and turn it over, right?
That's a strategy that has been successful in the past.
That's great. No, that's perfect. Because I think that people know they need to be there in these different fronts, and they need to have a different kind of visibility, but to actually make that change is whole other thing. And maybe the opportunity to get involved after someone's been burned or done it the wrong way helps too. Because you're like, oh, I've seen the wrong way. I'm open to new ideas as opposed to, the other. Great. Awesome. So you mentioned a recent client that you were engaged with, a law firm. Maybe give us a sense of a typical engagement, or one recently where you had optimal success for Propel, or for the client that you really enjoyed working, in that process.
Okay. Well, we work in many different industries at Propel. We work in 90% of our business is professional services. 10% is a mix of consumer products and nonprofits. Within the 90% that we work with in the services world, we love the transformational type things where you have firms that are not at all looking like 21st century firms. And when you can change their whole brand, their messaging, how they communicate, how their sales team communicates, and get everyone on board for that, and then parlay that into, if you will, beautifully designed websites, video that supports the messaging, social media that then pushes out to another and very many other audiences, and then combine that with, of course, all of your drip campaigns and ongoing newsletters and so forth. It's amazing to see the confidence level that comes into the world of a visionary, a small business owner, and or a sales team, and how proud they are to say, just go to our website and see what we do and hear from our clients. So our favorite kind of project, not that we don't have to do this full service every moment of time, but a lot of our projects tend to be these expansive projects that transform a company from their messaging all the way through to their ongoing digital marketing.
That's great example. Well, before we let Cindy go, we're going to bust into the lightning round and ask her some personal questions. So we'll put about 30 seconds on the clock and go from there. So,
let's go.
Let's roll. So coffee or tea?
Oh, tea, all the way.
Tea, all the way. Cats or dogs?
Woof, woof, woof.
All the way through?
All the way.
No cats?
Cats are good. Cats have their place.
Favorite app?
DoorDash.
DoorDash. And why DoorDash?
Because it's so convenient when you're a business owner and you're, as you know, a busy professional, and it's a great restaurant app.
Well, thank you again, Cindy, for joining us on the show. We appreciate you spending time and sharing some of your insights.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Tim.